Are you aware that your agency doesn't count refundable earned income tax credits, or food stamps, or housing subsidies, or utility bill subsidies, or Medicaid, or free school meals? They don't count that. They call it a non-cash payment, and it doesn't count. You aware of that?
According to the U.S. government, 11% of Americans are living in poverty. But what if that number isn't just wrong? What if it's wildly misleading? Because in this Senate hearing, Senator John Kennedy asks one simple question that changes everything. You aware of that? This is Senator John Kennedy grilling a Biden administration official over how the federal government defines poverty, and what they don't count might shock you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here. Mr. Secretary, the Census Bureau is under your jurisdiction, is it not?
Yes, it is.
And the Census Bureau is in charge of defining what it means to be poor or in poverty in America. Is that correct?
I think it does economic analysis for America.
But it also defines poverty level, does it not?
I don't know if it's the defining
well, you need
Bureau.
to look, because it does.
Okay.
If you know, this isn't a quiz, if you know, what's the percentage of Americans who live at or below the poverty level?
I don't know the percentage.
Okay, it's around 11%. It's been constant. Now, when the Census Bureau defines poverty, they do it by income. You're aware of that. When the Census Bureau defines poverty using income, they only count income that the individual earns or cash income that the individual gets from the federal government. Is that correct?
Well, it includes all sources of their income. I mean, that is the purpose.
Yeah, their income and cash income from the federal government. Is that correct?
Oh, meaning does it include income that they receive from the federal government?
Yeah, cash.
I think so.
Yeah. So if a person makes $11,000 a year, that's considered toward poverty level. But if the person gets a cash payment, let's say in the form of SSI or TANF, that counts too. Is that right?
I'm not certain.
Yeah, it does. Okay. Are you aware that your agency doesn't count non-cash payments from the federal government defining poverty?
I am not.
Are you aware that your agency doesn't count refundable earned income tax credits, or food stamps, or housing subsidies, or utility bill subsidies, or Medicaid, or free school meals? They don't count that. They call it a non-cash payment, and it doesn't count. You aware of that?
It sounds to me that you and I are going to spend some time together and we're going to change it. But I did not know that, and it sounds like something that we should add.
During a Senate hearing, Kennedy questions Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, whose department oversees the Census Bureau, the agency that determines who is officially considered poor in America. Right away, things get uncomfortable. Lutnick struggles to explain how poverty is calculated, and Kennedy jumps in. Here's the key issue. The Census Bureau defines poverty almost entirely by cash income. That means wages and certain cash payments count, but non-cash government benefits do not. We're talking about food stamps, housing subsidies, Medicaid, utility assistance, free school lunches, and refundable tax credits. According to Kennedy, none of that is counted when determining whether someone is officially living in poverty.
And the purpose of my questioning is not to punish people who need help. The American people are the most generous people in the world. That's why we spend $1.4 trillion a year helping people that other countries would allow to die in a ditch. But your Census Bureau says it's 11% who live at or below the poverty level. That's a lie. It's 1%. If you count as any person with a brain above a single-cell organism would, cash and non-cash payments, They're not. They're above the poverty level, and we ought to be honest with the American people and thank them for getting the poverty level down to 1%, instead of giving them a curb stomping and calling them selfish. Let me give you a real life example here. Let's suppose you've got a mom and 2 kids. According to your Census Bureau, the poverty level for her is $27,000. She makes $11,000 a year, let's say. So she's below the poverty level. But she also qualifies for $3,400 in refundable tax credits based on her $11,000 salary, $9,200 in food stamps, that's for her and her 2 children, $9,500 in housing subsidies, $900 in utility bill subsidies, $16,000 in Medicaid, $3,100 a year in free school lunches, and $6,600 a year in TANF. That's $64,100 a year, tax-free. Is she living in poverty?
Doesn't sound like it.
No, but your Census Bureau counts her as being poor. I'm not saying take away her benefits. I'm saying give the American people a little credit. And I really think you need to change the definition to a definition that looks like somebody designed the damn thing on purpose. Final question, I'm going to hurry, Mr. Chairman. Why don't you just use satellite internet service? Why don't you just use Global Star or Starlink? You said the cost is $4,000 per person in Louisiana. For $600, you can buy a Starlink terminal. Why don't you just do that and do it across America and save a bunch of money?
The states were responsible for determining the best outcome, and sometimes fiber in a dense location can be economically better. Sometimes satellite does not work best on geography.
It can't be cheaper. That's impossible. It can't be cheaper.
Math is, each of the states did their best. We worked it out with them, and we moved on.
I just don't understand. You can buy, I'm not saying do Musk. There are others that just throw it out for bid. But $600 for a terminal versus $4,000 for fiber optic? This is taxpayer money. I'm done. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Kennedy then gives a real-world example. A single mother with 2 kids earns $11,000 a year, well below the official poverty line of $27,000. But when you add up her benefits, food assistance, housing subsidies, Medicaid, tax credits, school meals, and TANF, her total support comes out to over $64,000 a year, tax-free. And yet, the Census Bureau still counts her as poor. Kennedy makes one thing clear: he's not calling for benefits to be cut. He argues the opposite, that Americans deserve credit for how much poverty has been reduced through government programs. He even claims that if all benefits were counted, the real poverty rate might be closer to 1%, not 11%. So is the poverty rate misleading, or is this just a flawed but necessary measurement? Drop your thoughts in the comment. If this clip surprised you, hit like, subscribe, and share this video, because this is a conversation more people need to hear.